No, your eyes do not deceive you. This video really is almost 38 minutes long. Sydney has a lot of great bars. I should know. I went to all of them. My first stop at Sydney is the tiniest bar on this list, probably the tiniest bar in the whole city. This is Cantina OK, an absolute shoebox of a bar fitting into an old parking space. No, not parking lot, parking space. It is extremely tiny, but man, is it a damn good bar. They call themselves a micro mezcal mecca, with their menu focusing entirely on margaritas, mezcal, and Mexican flavors. I don't know if there are any more M words I could use. Marvelous? Yep, that one for sure fits. Microscopic? Sure. Magazine? No, that doesn't work. They have a small but sensational menu of cocktails, some rotating seasonally and one feature that changes weekly. They had a peanut and salsa matcha cocktail on the list when I visited that I still think about to this day. I've never seen salsa matcha in a cocktail, but it was unbelievably good, just like the rest of their menu. The way they scribble their weekly special on the menu is iconic and a quite frequent occurrence in this city because the group behind Cantina OK has a lot of bars, and they are all fantastic. The space is tiny, standing room only, the drinks are phenomenal, and the staff are as good as it gets. This is an amazing bar that you should definitely visit. But come early because it fills up fast. Let's pause for a quick second to talk about the sponsor of this video, Cava Haven. It may come as no surprise to many of you, but when I travel, I drink a lot. Probably too much. So when I'm not on the road, I try to avoid alcohol as much as I possibly can, and it's products like Cava Haven that make it a lot easier for me to do so. Cava Haven is a non-alcoholic spirit alternative made from the kava root, crafted to help people relax and unwind without the use of alcohol. Not only does it help promote relaxation and enhance social experiences, it also tastes pretty damn good. It's got a lot of citrus and herbal notes, and it kind of reminds me of an herbal liqueur like chartreuse or strega. It tastes great on the rocks or also in a cocktail. And that's why I've snuck into my old workplace after hours to make a few drinks and give you some examples of how you can use Cava Haven as a spirit replacement. My go-to is always a daiquiri, and a daiquiri with Cava Haven instead of rum is absolutely delicious. The ginger and cardamom notes pair great with lime and sugar. Also, do you guys like this sick POV shot? I'm wearing my phone around my neck attached to a magnet. I feel ridiculous, but it looks kind of cool. It's important to have great non-alcoholic alternatives for something like an after-work drink, and Cava Haven is a great alternative to help you relax and unwind after a long and busy shift. And because Cava Haven is sponsoring today's video, when you click the link in the description or scan this QR code on screen, you'll get 15% off your first order. It's an exclusive deal you won't get anywhere else, so click the link, try Cava Haven, and discover a new way to relax and socialize today. Now, back to all the best bars in Sydney. Apollonia is a dark and moody underground spot inspired by all things Sicily. Named after the first wife of Michael Corleone from The Godfather, this place is everything great about drinking in Italy. Lots of Negronis, a fantastic aperitivo hour, tons of riffs on Italian classics, and a great original list of drinks inspired by Italian cinema. Each drink is named after an iconic Italian or Italian-American actor. And while they're inspired by the old world, the drinks are full of modern techniques and interesting flavors, making for an amazing drinking experience. Without a doubt, the most iconic and famous cocktail bar in Sydney is maybe Sammy, a frequent find on the 50 best list and former #1 on the top 500 bars list. Maybe Sammy is like a hotel lobby bar without an actual hotel attached to it. Extremely opulent and theatrical without being over the top, everything about Maybe Sammy is fine-tuned to create a memorable experience whether you're a first-timer like me or a Sydney local. The service is phenomenal, a huge team of bartenders that are both talented drink makers and exceptional hosts. Their cocktail menu, inspired by the Grand Budapest Hotel, has a huge selection of uniquely creative and delicious drinks, and they also have another menu of mini classics to give you the opportunity to taste as many different things as possible without getting too drunk too quickly. Mini Irish coffee, mini martini, mini Negroni, and they're super affordable during happy hour. Come early, start with a couple of minis, move on to their awesome originals, and pair those with some amazing snacks as well, which I totally forgot to film because I am a very talented professional. Take my word for it though, the food is just as good as the drinks, which truly is saying something because the drinks here are some of the best I have ever had. Named after the bar from Roadhouse and themed like a 1970s porn shoot, not that I would know anything about that, Double Deuce is a true representation of old school cool. When a bar really nails the theme they're going after, it amplifies the experience to no end, and they absolutely nailed the 70s theme at the Double Deuce. I feel like I should be draped in a velvet tracksuit and rocking a giant handlebar mustache. Thankfully, it's not a requirement for entry because no way in hell could I ever pull that off. The only thing not really representative of the 70s is the cocktail menu, and thank God for that. The drinks here are far better than the garbage they were drinking way back then. Everything about the Deuce just feels like a good time. One of the original big boys of the Sydney cocktail scene, Eau de Vie is dimly lit, moody, and intimate. It's got 2008 cocktail bar written all over it. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. This is a fantastic bar with great drinks and better vibes, and we need places like this to remind us of where we came from. It's not outdated, it's timeless. Way up high on the 22nd floor of the A by Adina Hotel, Dean and Nancy is another fantastic spot from the same group behind Maybe Sammy. The bar takes inspiration from mid-century hotel bars with its grand piano, well-dressed bar team, and a room covered in marble and gold. The first impression screams posh and pretentious, but the experience is far from it. The bar team is super friendly and inviting, creating an amazing atmosphere whether you're fitting the theme by being dressed to the nines or rocking a t-shirt and track pants like someone else who might be visiting. It wasn't me, I was in a three-piece suit, I swear. Their dreams-inspired menu is super playful, inventive, and unbelievably delicious. It subverts all your expectations in the best way possible, presenting as a super posh hotel bar and then blowing bubbles in your face. I freaking love bars like this. Centro 86 is a bar from the same team as Cantina OK, and it features a lot of the same things that make the Cantina such a great place to drink. Similar style menu, similar amazing friendly staff, similar passion for Mexican spirits. The only difference is that Centro 86 is about 500 times the size. Yes, they are similar, but that does not mean you should only visit one. Both bars are incredible, and you'd be missing out if you didn't spend time at both. There is one neighborhood in Sydney right now that is truly hot shit, and that is Newtown. Just a few stops on the train from Sydney Central Station, there are more great bars within walking distance here than anywhere else in Sydney. And I'm going to go to as many as I can in one day, starting with Bar Planet. Another bar from the same group as Cantina OK and Centro 86, except this time the focus is on the martini instead of margaritas. It's got the exact opposite vibe as a place that describes itself as a martini bar. You'd expect snooty, pretentious bullshit, but the exact opposite is true. Super laid back, a little bit quirky, fun, inviting, and very friendly. And they make an exceptional martini. Did you notice the menu? The same style as the other bars with a weekly special scribbled like graffiti. I told you that was going to show up quite a bit. I love it. This is a fantastic martini bar, good enough alone to make the trip to Newtown, but we've only just begun. Also, take a look at this edit. You know how long this took me? This was freaking hard, and no one's even going to notice. What was the point? I wasted so much time on that. Everything about Pleasure Club screams nostalgia. The venue has 80s vibes all over, with the kitschy carpet flooring, pool table, jukebox, and live music every night. You can tell the second you walk through the door that they know how to have a good time here, which is great since they're one of the few bars in Sydney open until 4 a.m. The drinks menu is full of nostalgic flavors as well, whether it's an iconic Australian ice cream brand, a chicken parm, or a Vegemite cocktail, among other things. Not really nostalgic for me since these flavors are extremely Australian, but I'm sure some locals would flip their shit seeing some of the things on this menu. And that's a concept that I can get behind. Nostalgia aside, the flavors are great, the vibes are immaculate as well. The only thing bad is my timing, since the live music doesn't start until later in the evening. Earl's Juke joint is one of the pioneers of the Newtown bar scene, having opened in 2013. The walls are lined with photos and art of New Orleans music icons, and the soundtrack matches it. The bar is huge and lively, but also very chill, and the drinks menu is perfect for the type of spot you pop into multiple times per week. Great cocktails and constantly changing beers on tap. This is an amazing example of a perfect local spot. Of course, every city needs a good tiki bar, and although Jacoby's is not the only tiki bar in town, they are most certainly one of the best. Great tiki bars have a very important formula that you need to follow, and if something is off, it's easy to tell the second you walk through the door. From the drinks to the decor to the ambiance, you need to nail all the little details, and if one thing is off, the whole facade crumbles. Luckily, they have nailed it. This is a perfect tiki experience, no doubt about it. There's a number of bars in Newtown that feel like random dives, but then you walk in and are instantly showered with an overwhelming amount of hospitality. Palomino Lounge is one of those places. The people here are just some of the nicest around, and the drinks are just as good. I told them about my mission in Newtown and trip to Sydney, and they hit me with a huge list of places I should go. Not just for drinks in Newtown, but restaurants in the area and the rest of Sydney as well. And the Lamington Old Fashioned I had, one of the best old fashioned variations I've had in a long time. Fortunate Son is another bar that has just about the exact same vibe as the Palomino Lounge, an unassuming dive with unbelievable hospitality and amazing drinks, which makes sense because they're owned by the same people and located right across the street. If you're doing something right, you might as well keep doing it. Slightly hidden down in a graffiti-lined alley, Uncanny is yet another bar that checks all the boxes. Super inviting and friendly, with great drinks and great people. I sound like a broken record. I'm running out of things to say about the bars in Newtown. Everywhere is just so good. Newtown is easily the hottest neighborhood in the city right now, and I didn't even come close to covering all the great spots in the area. There are tons of wine bars, sports bars, breweries, sake bars that I could have probably done an entire video on just Newtown. And it's constantly changing. There are new places that are widely regarded as some of the best in town that weren't even opened when I filmed this. One day to cover it all is nowhere close to enough. This place rules. Supporting local is one of the most important things you can do as a bar and restaurant, and the Waratah is all about supporting local. Their mission is to highlight the flavors and produce that make Australia great, utilizing independent farms and local growers to show off the amazing biodiversity of the Australian landscape. On the lower floor is a simple neighborhood spot that would be perfect on its own, but the second floor is where the Waratah really shines. A bar and restaurant that truly highlights the ingredients it uses, with a great food menu and a very interesting cocktail selection. The staff were super keen to talk about the ingredients they use and where they come from, and had a very impressive wealth of knowledge to share. I also got to taste the extremely local Australian ingredient of fries with chicken salt for the first time, which is just the best shit ever. You cannot go to Australia and not have fries with chicken salt. Your trip would be incomplete without it. Another bar from the Maybe Sammy group, and another amazing elevated dive bar going above and beyond what you'd expect from a typical dive. Little Cooler is a very cool basement bar ode to the glam rock and hip hop of the 80s and 90s. I say is in the present tense, but I should be saying was, because as I'm writing this, I just found out that they're closing within the next few days. Great. I really gotta be faster putting out these videos so the things that I film and share aren't outdated by the time I release them. Well, I'm sure whatever comes next from the Maybe Sammy team is going to be just as spectacular as everything else they've opened in Sydney. I got a lot of recommendations for bars to visit when I was in Sydney. Everyone was so eager and happy to give me spots to visit, and while every list was different, pretty much everyone said I have to come to Old Mate's Place. It was by far the most recommended bar of any bar in all of Sydney. It's part library bar speakeasy with vintage leather booths and countless old books, and part rooftop garden terrace with a view of the Sydney skyline. The energy here is unmatched, filled with happy people just getting off work, ready to take down their fair share of Old Mate's whimsical cocktails. The menu here is very fun, playful, and they know how to crank them out fast. It's easy to see why this place was so frequently recommended. It is exceptional. Old Mate's is located on the 4th floor, but in the basement you'll find Old Love's, a rum and tiki inspired bar opened by Old Mate's that was recently named the best bar in New South Wales. The menu is a novel dedicated to all things Caribbean rum, with the team happy to share the wealth of knowledge they have on the subject. It's a masterclass in rum, both in the selection of spirits available and the amazing cocktails they're putting out. It's like a tiki bar without the excessive garishness you come to expect from a typical tiki spot. Not to say that that isn't great, I freaking love that. But this is a refined take on tiki that is out of the ordinary and a refreshing experience unlike any other. The Barber Shop is called the Barber Shop because it's hidden behind a barber shop. Thank you, good night. In all seriousness, if you love gin, then this is the bar you want to be drinking at. They have over 700 different bottles of gin, which is absolutely absurd. Of course, I chose the cocktail with Japanese gin because I am an extremely predictable Japan-obsessed loser, but I have no regrets because it was incredible. Have I mentioned yet that Sydney is a hotbed of elevated dive bars? I don't think I've mentioned that yet. Ramblin Rascal is no exception and one of the originals when it comes to creating a 5-star dive bar experience. Great cocktails or cheap lager in a can, whatever you want to drink, anything goes. No one gives a shit as long as you're having a good time, and that is really the ethos here. You can see the words "Don't be a dick" painted on the wall all over the place, and they really take that to heart. If you're a good person, you will be treated right and have a great time. Don't be a dick. It's that simple. The bonsai tree on the back bar at Bar Sumi should be enough of a clue that this is a Japanese-style cocktail experience through and through. No menu, just classic cocktails made perfectly, the true Japanese way. Talk to the bartender and they'll help you choose what to drink, and you are guaranteed to get a perfect cocktail every time. This is East Asian bartending at its finest. Are you surprised that I chose a daiquiri? Of course not. I also had an espresso martini, which I thought I filmed, but I guess I drank it so fast that it was gone before I even had the chance. Oops. When I visited back in December, they were also doing a tea-infused cocktail omakase that was available by reservation only, which was absolutely fantastic. I just looked and I'm not sure if they're still doing that, which would be a shame because it really was very good. Either way, it's a great cocktail experience, omakase or not. If you're looking for that Japanese vibe in Sydney, Bar Sumi is definitely the place. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Peel back the curtain and reveal some movie magic. I don't always show the bars in order of when I go to them. Shocking, I know. PS40 is actually the very first bar I went to after landing in Sydney, and god damn, it was just about the best first impression you could possibly imagine. The very first drink I ordered, the Africola, was a phenomenal coffee drink, showing off a mix of hot and cold temperatures. A drink so good that apparently it has been voted the best drink in Australia on multiple occasions. Not surprising. The welcome I got after they found out it was my first night in Australia was nothing short of extraordinary. Not just from the bar staff, but the patrons as well. Everyone was just so phenomenally friendly and excited to guide me towards their favorite spots. I showed up with a huge list of places to go and left with one probably twice the size. All because the people who work there and the guests they attract are diehard fans of Sydney's food and drink scene and want nothing more than for its visitors to have a trip worth remembering. An amazing ambassador to the city and a stop that I highly recommend. The Lobo is yet another bar in Sydney dedicated to all things rum. They've got a countless amount of bottles, some that are nearly 100 years old. Aside from a stellar rum collection, they also do some great cocktails as well. We need more cocktails garnished with a rubber ducky. This is a no-brainer. Why isn't every bar doing this? Here we go, the final stop. If you made it this far, you are an absolute G. The Baxter Inn is one of Sydney's most famous bars and frequently ranked in the top 10 bars in the world in its early years. Hidden down a service stairwell in a back alley, you'd never expect to find a place this large until you step through the door. They've got a massive selection of whiskey and a great menu of cocktails, all dished out by a team that knows how to work a high-volume bar without compromising quality. All the drinks I tried were great, but I cannot believe it took me this long to try one of Australia's most iconic drinks, whiskey and fresh apple juice. A simple combination, but one of the most delicious drinks you will ever have. It's actually shocking that it isn't more popular outside of Australia. I've tasted a lot of great things on this trip, but sometimes the simplest things are the greatest. Give me a whiskey apple with a side of fries and chicken salt, and I am one happy camper. You can keep the Vegemite for yourself. Sydney, you were great, and your bar scene is world class. Thanks for the memories. Hopefully, we will meet again soon.